Da 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 da, Citrasloth.
Welcome to Citrasloth's Guide to Ulduar. Regarded by many as the best raid ever made, Ulduar is located in Northrend, in the northern portion of Storm Peaks, inside the Titan complex that contains the Halls of Stone, the Halls of Lightning, and Ulduar itself. The entire complex is a prison for the old god Yogg-Saron, also known as the God of Death. This old god is responsible for the curse of flesh, the corruption of Titan watchers such as Loken, having influence over the Lich King, certain kinds of undead, other very important Azerothian events, the creation of the Faceless Ones, and the creation of Serenite, which consists of his dried and crystallized blood. This raid consists of 5 sprawling parts: the Siege of Ulduar, the Antechamber of Ulduar, the Keepers of Ulduar, the Celestial Planetarium, and the Descent into Madness. In this raid it is possible to earn 136 achievements, 3 mounts, completion of multiple quests, and the collection of Tier 8 gear for Transmog. As with all Lich King raids, in order to get the achievements, you have to complete the raid on both 10 and 25 man. The first part of the raid is called the Siege of Ulduar. In the first part there are 4 bosses: the Flame Leviathan, Ignis the Furnace Master, Racer Scale, and XT-002 Deconstructor. In the beginning of the raid, you will be in a large room. You have the option to get in one of 3 vehicles: a siege engine, a demolisher, or a motorcycle. You get an achievement for defeating the first boss on each of these different vehicles once. The best vehicle for soloing this part of the raid is the demolisher, because it allows you to kill enemies the fastest and it allows you to kite the boss. There are a few achievements that come before fighting the first boss, which is the Flame Leviathan, and for completing prerequisites before killing the boss. One such pre-boss achievement is Dwarfageddon. To get this achievement, kill 100 defenders in 10 seconds. It is easier to get this achievement by gathering a ton of dwarves up and killing them all at once. If you already have this achievement, you can stop the dwarves from spawning by killing the towers scattered throughout the middle of the large room, seen here. These towers only take damage from your vehicle, so you can only kill them with the demolisher or the siege engine. There are 4 orbital defense towers located here, 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 and here. These towers empower the upcoming boss. If you leave them all up, that is, you don't destroy them with your vehicle, you will get the achievement Obituary. Many achievements in this raid scale like this one, where if you complete the hardest one, you will get all of the easier ones. For instance, by completing Obituary, you will also earn Nuked from Orbit, Orbital Bombardment, and Orbital Devastation. The Unbroken achievement requires you to not repair your vehicle before you fight the Flame Leviathan. Simply don't drive over the repair pads seen before this boss. The 2 achievements that are associated with the boss itself are Shout Out and Take Out Those Turrets. Shout Out requires you to simply kill the boss without doing anything special. Take Out Those Turrets requires you to have a friend driving a demolisher and to have them catapult you on top of the Flame Leviathan. Once there, kill the turrets that are on top of the boss. In order to solo this boss efficiently, do as much damage as possible with your demolisher, including using pyrite barrels as much as possible. Kite the boss as much as you can. If your vehicle gets destroyed, keep trying to kite the boss and damage him as much as possible. If you are level 100, you should be able to withstand the damage you take from his minions for quite a while. The next boss is Ignis the Furnace Master. This fiery giant rules over a large forge and has a general theme: fire. To kill this boss, simply DPS it down to 0. This boss awards 3 different achievements. Stoke in the Furnace is awarded for killing it in under 4 minutes. Hot Pocket is awarded by getting thrown into Ignis' slag pod. You may or may not have the opportunity for this to happen because it is based entirely on RNG. The hardest achievement on this boss is Shattered, which requires you to kite 2 constructs that Ignis spawns through the fire left on the ground. After they reach 10 stacks of heat by kiting them through the fire, they will become molten. After they have the Molten debuff, kite them into the water where they will get the Brittle debuff. Kill them both within 5 seconds in order to complete this achievement. The next boss is Razor Scale. This fight is simple, but it will require 2 runs to get the achievements unless you are absolutely pro. To beat him, defend the engineers in the back as they fix the harpoons during the first phase. Then, fire the harpoons to bring the dragon down. Then DPS until the boss is dead. She will run around on the ground and no longer fly once she reaches 50% health. The first achievement, a Quick Shave, requires you to only allow her to land once. That is, you only have to go through the harpoon phase once. To do this, shoot her with the harpoons and burst her down very quickly, past 50%. The second achievement is one of the lengthiest in the raid. Iron Dwarf Medium Rare requires you to kill a total of 25 Dark Rune Guardian Dwarves from the first phase with her Flame Breath. She only uses Flame Breath after she is on the ground, which is after she is below 50% health. Her breath does not do enough damage to to the dwarves to kill them in one hit. Because of this, you must lower the health of the dwarves first. You will also need to damage the dwarves before they are killed by the flame breath in order to get credit. Because level 100s mostly one-shot these Dark Rune Guardians, you have two options to get this achievement. You can take off a lot of your gear, damage the dwarves down to about 30% HP, and kite them around until Razor Scale can use her flame breath. Or you can wait for her berserk timer, which is 15 minutes long, gather up all the dwarves, hit them with a very low damage attack like Frost Nova, which is untalented, and let her buffed fire kill them, and subsequently you, almost instantaneously. This achievement is known to be bugged, but it is cumulative, so if you kill a few with the fire, but accidentally run out of dwarves, you can jump off the edge, reset the boss, and continue killing dwarves in another attempt. The final boss of the Siege of Ulduar is XT-002 Deconstructor. There is a pet called Little XT that is named after this boss, shown here. To beat this boss, simply DPS it as fast as possible. Every 25% HP lost, he will expose his heart. Each time he does this, a few ads spawn. There are 5 achievements for this boss. The first 3 can be completed easily. Must Deconstruct Faster requires you to kill him in under 205 seconds. Heartbreaker requires you to kill his heart that he exposes, then kill him. And Nerf Gravity Bombs requires that nobody die from a certain ability called Gravity Bomb. Just make sure not to stand in any AoE on the ground. The last 2 can be tricky and relate to the ads that spawn during the fight. Nerf Engineering requires you to make sure that no scrap bots, they spawn when his heart is exposed, make it to XT to heal him. Nerf Scrap Bots requires lots of kiting and CC, so you may want a friend or two to help. You have to kill 20 Scrap Bots within 12 seconds using a Boom Bot. Both of these ads spawn during the encounter, when XT's heart is exposed. The best strategy to do this is to DPS his heart down to around 5% every time as it's exposed, and to kite and CC the ads that spawn when you DPS the heart. It is best to minimize the amount of time you spend DPSing the actual boss. This is done by bursting him down in between his exposed heart phases. After 3 heart exposures, one at 75%, one at 50%, and one at 25%, there should be enough scrap bots to kill. Simply gather them up and DPS a bomb bot nearby. The boom bot will explode and cause the nearby scrap bots to be eliminated, thus earning you the achievement. The second part of this raid is called the Antechamber of Ulduar. This part contains 3 bosses, the Assembly of Iron, Kolagarn, and a special boss located in the Celestial Planetarium, Algalon the Observer. The bosses are located here, here, and here. The first boss we will be killing is the Assembly of Iron. This boss has 5 achievements associated with it, and is actually 3 bosses in one. The I Choose You achievements require you to run Ulduar a minimum of 3 separate times to get, 6 including 25-man. Simply kill each of the 3 bosses last. The I Choose You Steelbreaker achievement, however, is required for the glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement. The other 2 achievements are But I'm on Your Side and Can't Do That While Stunned. But I'm on Your Side requires you to be under the effect of the Iron Boot Flask when the last boss dies. In order to get this flask, you have to buy it for 10 Relics of Ulduar from Olug Ailgut in the Storm Peaks, located here. It is BOP, so you cannot buy it on the auction house. I Can't Do That While Stunned is easiest to get if you kill Brundir first. You will need to interrupt his abilities Chain Lightning and Lightning Whirl. If you kill him first, make sure to not let the other bosses finish casting Chain Lightning as well. Burst down the other bosses quickly and without getting hit, and this achievement can be marked as complete. The next boss is Algalon the Observer. This was an optional boss back in the day, and is very important lore-wise. If we hadn't have bested him here, the whole of Azeroth would have been re-originated by the Titans. In order to open the door to his passageway, click on the small control module to the left of the door, then wait for Bronzebeard's speech. There are 2 achievements associated with this boss, Observed and Supermassive. Observed requires you to kill him. That's it. For Supermassive, you have to utilize his mechanics. This achievement is tricky without friends, because the fight will most likely reset. During the fight, he will spawn collapsing stars. Kill these to turn them into black holes. Stepping into a black hole will make you invulnerable to his Big Bang ability, but also makes you untargetable by him, thus resetting the fight if you are alone. He also spawns living constellations during the fight, which fall from the sky and follow you around. Simply kite these living constellations into the black holes, 3 within 10 seconds, and you will earn this achievement. The final boss for this portion of the raid is Kolagarn. He is a massive stone construct guarding the Keepers of Ulduar and has 4 achievements to grab from him, most requiring separate runs. Disarmed requires you to kill each of his arms and Kolagarn himself within 12 seconds. Just bring his body down to around 20%, kill each of his arms, and then him as fast as possible. This is part of the glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement. Rubble and Roll requires you to kill 5 arms. 5 rubble creatures will spawn after each arm is killed, and the arms will respawn after a time. Once 25 rebel creatures have spawned, kill the boss and you are good to go. With open arms requires that you not kill his arms. That's it, just don't touch him. If looks could kill requires that everyone not get hit by his focused eye beams. Pets or totems can also not be hit, so make sure you dismiss them.
None shall pass. Master, make go.
The next section of the raid is called the Keepers of Ulduar. In this section there are 5 bosses: Freya, Hodir, Mirmaron, Thorim, and Ayuria. The boss Ayuria is technically part of the Antechamber of Ulduar, but she fits better in this grouping. Upon her defeat, if you have defeated Kolagharn and the Assembly of Iron, you will be awarded the Antechamber of Ulduar achievement. The first boss we will be ousting is Hodir. To kill him quickly, just burst. There are 5 achievements associated with this boss. I could say that this Caster's Rare requires you to kill Hodir within 3 minutes of entering the tunnel. This achievement is part of the Glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement. Cheese the Freeze requires that nobody in the raid be flash frozen. Getting cold in here is completed by nobody getting more than 2 stacks of the debuff Biting Cold. This is done by standing next to a campfire. I Have the Coolest Friends requires that none of the NPCs who help you die. Staying buffed all winter is the most difficult one here. You have to be affected by 3 buffs at once. It requires a bit of RNG. You have to stand next to the fire, be affected by Starlight, the large beam of light that the Boom Chickens cast, and be affected by Storm Power. You cannot solo this achievement, as the only way you can get Storm Power is if a friend has a debuff that transfers to you. The next boss is Thorim. He has 5 achievements to grab from him. To solo this boss, kill the initial adds in the area, then pull the lever to your left to open the door. After that, run through the hallway, kill the adds, and hit Thorim on his back. Then jump down into the arena and fight him like a normal boss. Lose Your Illusion requires you to kill him in under 3 minutes, and is part of the Glory of the Ulduar achievement. Sift requires you to kill him while Sif is still there. Don't stand in the lightning requires that nobody be struck by lightning. I'll Take You All On requires you to simply go through the tunnel. Who Needs Bloodlust is extremely tricky. You have to have a friend engineer or be an engineer. They have to make a Tinker Mind amplification dish, which is an add-on to a belt. While it is on, you use the add-on to mind control a Dark Rune Warbringer. They will then cast the buff Aura of Celerity on you. You simply have to kill Thorim while under the influence of this buff. The next boss is Freya. Her achievements require multiple runs. To kill her, burst as fast as possible. No extra mechanics. Knock 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 on Wood requires you to leave all 3 of her elders alive when you kill her. This is part of the Glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement. By getting this Chivo, you also get Knock on Wood and Knock Knock on Wood. Lumberjack requires you to kill all 3 elders within 15 seconds of each other. Just run around the room, kite the adds, and be sure to stay away from the boss, and then kill them quickly. Conspiratory requires you to kill Freya within 20 minutes of killing the first thing in the conservatory. Getting Back to Nature requires that you kill Freya while she has 25 stacks of Attune to Nature. Freya starts with 150 stacks of this, and each mob you kill in the waves reduces her stacks. All you need to do is down the first 3 waves of trash, then ignore the rest of the waves and nuke Freya down. Deforestation requires a bit of attention. It requires you to kill 2 water spirits, 2 storm lashers, and 2 snap lashers within 10 seconds. To get this, ignore them once they come out and kill the other waves of enemies. Then, once the second wave of snap spirits and storms spawn, grab them up and nuke them down. Ayuria is a very easy boss with only 2 achievements. Crazy Cat Lady requires you to kill the boss without killing the Sanctum sentries. This is part of the Glory achievement. 9 Lives requires you to kill the Feral Defender that spawns during the Ayuria encounter before you kill Ayuria. The Feral Defender will spawn about 1 minute into the battle. Once the Defender spawns, you'll need to DPS him down. He will revive himself 8 times, meaning you kill him 9 times during the fight. Once this is done, kill Ayuria and you're Gucci. The last boss, Mirmaron, has 3 achievements and some neat mechanics. For all phases other than Phase 4, just kill the machine he is in. In Phase 4, bring all the machines down together. The achievement Firefighter, which is part of the Glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement, requires you to press the button that says Do Not Push on the far side of the room before pulling Mirmaron. This activates hard mode. Not So Friendly Fire requires you keep an assault bot up from Phase 3 and make Mirmaron kill it with his rocket strike in Phase 4. You will see the red target on the ground in Phase 4 right when he is about to strike. Set Up Us the Bomb requires you to kill Mirmaron without anybody getting hit by mines, rocket strike, and bomb bots. Upon defeating Mirmaron, you will get the achievement The Keepers of Ulduar. The final portion of the raid is called the Descent into Madness. This part has two bosses, General Vizax and Yogg-Saron himself. General Vizax is a tank and spank. He has two achievements to grab. Shadow Dodger requires you to kill him without getting hit by Shadow Crash, and I Love the Smell of Serenite in the Morning requires you to wait a while. Simply don't attack the Serenite vapors, and eventually, about 3.5 minutes, a Serenite Animus will spawn. Kill it before you kill the General. This is part of the Glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement. Now it is time for the final boss, the Old God, Yogg-Saron. The fight occurs in 3 phases. Once where you drag ads to the middle and kill the illusion chick, one where you have to enter his mind and kill his brain, and one where you are cast out and you have to kill his body, all the while maintaining your sanity. You can make the fight easier by talking to the Titan Keepers above the Yogg room. In order to get 4 Chivos, don't talk to them. You will get alone, 1, 2, and 3 lights in the darkness for doing this. 1 light in the darkness is a requirement for the Glory of the Ulduar Raider achievement. Their coming out of the walls requires you to kill 9 guardians in 12 seconds. Simply run through the gas clouds to spawn a guardian, and kill them all next to the girl in the middle. Doing so will begin phase 2. Because this is one of my favorite sound bites in the entire game, I am going to play it for you now.
The lucid dream, the monster in the nightmares,
The fiend of 1,000 faces. Cower before my true form. Bow down before the god of death.
To get through phase 2, kill the tentacles and avoid stuff. If you /kiss Sarah during phase 2, she will be floating above the boss, you will get the achievement Kiss and Make Up. After the portal spawns, step through and keep your characters faced away from the floating skulls. Otherwise you will gain stacks of insanity. Simply kill all ads in the room, then run to the back and kill the brain. After that you will be cast out of his mind and you have to kill his body. He's Not Getting Any Older requires you to kill Yogg in 7 minutes or less. Drive Me Crazy requires you to kill Yogg without anyone going insane. They go insane when they gain 100 stacks of the insanity debuff. In His House He Waits Dreaming requires you to see all 3 nightmare visions in phase 2. Congratulations! You have completed Ulduar. If you did everything correctly on both 10 and 25 man, you will have earned 136 achievements, the chance of 3 mounts, the Rusted Proto-Drake, the Ironbound Proto-Drake, and Myrmidon's Head. You should also get away with about 1,500 gold. Thank you for watching this guide to Ulduar. Click here to subscribe and click here to see guides on specific sections of the raid. Thank you for watching. Citrasloth out.